Well, hello again, everyone, and welcome back to our Market Report Christmas edition. As always, I'm Dion Zakuski, Branch Manager and Director here at Scotia Wealth for Central Alberta. And in today's brief video, we wanted to check out a couple things heading into year end. First, give you a market update. We've seen global trade have some volatility, but now we're seeing it cause a nice little rally. And second, we're going to look at some year-end tax tips to remember. Looking at a market update, most, if not all, of this year's market volatility has to do with geopolitical events, mainly trade. The US and China have been playing their own version of a high-stakes game of ping-pong the last couple of years, and the US wanted to get a better trade deal done. In doing so, they've slapped tariffs or taxes on imported goods from China. The response was a quick, "Oh yeah, we'll see your tariff and tax you right back." So this has been going back and forth, and every time it flares up, we've seen some volatility in the market. But finally, after months of negotiations, just this past week, we've seen a breakthrough in trade. And they look like they're having an agreement in place in what's called a Phase 1 agreement. This is expected to be signed off on in early 2020, and we've seen markets rally on this news. Also, to add some positive fuel to the fire, the new NAFTA 2.0, also known as the Canada, US, Mexico trade agreement, looks to be happening as well, and that's supposed to be signed off on next year too. Finally, across the pond, the whole Brexit thing is finally settling down, and it looks like there's some certainty as their latest election just finished over there. So this has all opened a door for what's called a little Santa Claus rally, and markets look solid heading into year end. We're going to show you a chart here of the US S&P 500 index on just what it's done in the last 3 months. So as we can see, in early October, there's a bit of a W pattern, and now with some concerns over the US and China global trade. And then it was a nice steady move higher until a couple weeks ago when that whole trade thing flared up again. The Phase 1 agreement looked to be in place, and boom, in the last week and a half, we've seen markets move higher as they head towards year end. Speaking of year end, we wanted to give you a few tax tips as we look to close out 2019. First refers to what's called tax loss selling. So this is where there may be a position or two in a portfolio that hasn't worked out as well, and you can look to sell it. What happens then is you can take that loss and apply it against any types of gains that you've had this year. That way you don't pay taxes on the capital gains. You can also apply it to any gains you've had in the last 3 years, or carry it forward as well for possible future gains. The key thing to remember here is if you look to buy back the same security or same investment, you do have to wait 30 days. Otherwise, Canada Revenue Agency won't allow it. And this only applies, of course, to non-registered accounts, so investments outside of RSPs and tax-free savings accounts. The next year-end tax idea is charitable donations. If there's a cause or charity that you care about, be sure to get those contributions in before the year end. That way, you'll get the tax credit for 2019. And the last tip here is to look at registered education savings accounts. So you may have an RESP for your kids, or in some cases your grandkids. We want to make sure we get those dollars in before the end of the year as well. That way you'll maximize the federal government grant. Did you know the feds will give you up to $500 in free money per beneficiary in these accounts? Very powerful indeed to try and take advantage of this. As always, check with your tax advisor to ensure which strategies are best for you. And that's our report for today. From all of us here at the Zakuski Group, we want to wish you and yours a wonderful holiday season and a very prosperous 2020. We'll be back in the new year with some more tips and themes coming up for 2020. Until then, thanks for watching and take care.